Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRIENDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news today. We're diving into some explosive NFL news that has the potential to shake up the entire NFC East, and more specifically, to impact the Washington Commanders in a way few could have anticipated just a few weeks ago. We're talking about Trey Lance, a name that's been making waves across NFL circles lately, and how his recent trade could be a turning point for Washington's quarterback situation. Yes, you heard that right, Trey Lance could soon be donning the burgundy and gold. And believe me, this isn't just a rumor floating around. It's a serious possibility that has fans buzzing and analysts analyzing every detail. Now, let's set the stage. We all know Trey Lance was drafted in 2021 by the San Francisco 49ers, a team that was seen as a contender right from the start. Coming out of North Dakota State, Lance was touted as a dual-threat quarterback with incredible athleticism, a strong arm, and the ability to make plays both with his arm and his legs. But his journey in the NFL hasn't been smooth sailing. Injuries, inconsistent playing time, and the pressure of living up to a high draft pick have all played their part. Despite that, Lance has shown flashes of brilliance, especially in the preseason, where he's looked sharp and confident, impressing not just fans but also coaching staff. Recently, the Chargers, a team that's been very much in the playoff hunt over the past few seasons, made a strategic move. They traded for Trey Lance, and this wasn't just a roster depth move. No, it was a calculated decision rooted in the Chargers' desire to have a reliable backup behind Justin Herbert. Herbert, as we all know, is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league today, but injuries happen. And when they do, having someone like Lance, with his mobility and arm talent, could be a game-changer for Los Angeles. His preseason performances, where he displayed improved decision-making and accuracy, made him an even more attractive option. The Chargers see him as a player who can step in and operate their offense if needed, without a significant drop-off in production. But here's where it gets really interesting for Washington fans. If the Chargers are open to trading Lance, which they might be if the right offer comes along, the team that's most likely to make a move is the Washington Commanders. Now, let's talk about Washington's current quarterback situation, because it's a storyline that's been developing since the start of the season. Jayden Daniels is still under center for the Commanders, but it's no secret that his performance has started to raise some eyebrows. After a promising rookie season where Daniels threw for over 390 yards, 30 touchdowns, and carried a 68.4% completion rate, there's an evident concern about his accuracy and decision-making. His struggles, especially in Week 2 against the Green Bay Packers, exposed some vulnerabilities that the Packers' defense took full advantage of. What was noticeable in that game was how Daniels, despite his impressive athleticism and rushing ability, was exposed for his accuracy issues. Completing only 57.1% of his passes isn't just a small hiccup. It's a red flag that suggests he's still refining his reading of the field and his timing. When under pressure, Daniels has been somewhat slow to get rid of the ball, which has led to hits on him and in some cases injuries. And as we've seen, injuries to a quarterback can be a game changer, especially if they're serious enough to require an MRI, as Daniels had to undergo following that game. The Commanders, a team with Super Bowl aspirations, simply can't afford to leave their hopes hanging on a QB who's showing signs of a sophomore slump or, worse, risk losing him for an extended period due to injury. The offensive line struggled mightily against the Packers' defensive front, and that made matters worse for Daniels, who was under constant pressure. The team needs stability at the quarterback position, especially in a division that's loaded with talented defenses and competitive teams like the Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys. This is where Trey Lance's potential acquisition becomes a game-changer for Washington. His recent preseason form shows a quarterback capable of making plays both with his arm and his legs, a dual threat that complements the modern NFL style perfectly. Lance's mobility could help the Commanders extend drives, escape pressure, and make big plays when needed. Plus, his experience, although limited in regular season games, is growing rapidly, especially with the connection he's already built with defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio's scheme and the familiarity he has with defensive-minded coaches like Ron Rivera. Another key aspect is the familiarity between Lance and Washington's defensive coordinator, Jack Del Rio, who previously worked with Lance during their time together in Dallas in 2023. Even though they didn't work directly together on the field, Del Rio's knowledge of Lance's strengths as a dual-threat quarterback and his ability to adapt to different defensive schemes could be instrumental. Washington's coaching staff would likely see Lance as a player who can hit the ground running, especially if they want to avoid a prolonged slump from Daniels or the risk of injury. Of course, this potential trade isn't just about filling a gap. It's about upgrading the overall quarterback room, providing stability, and a spark of excitement for fans who are eager to see more consistency and big play potential from their signal caller. With the NFL being such a quarterback-driven league, having a versatile player like Lance, who can throw accurately and run effectively, could be the difference maker in close games and playoff scenarios. Now, let's consider the bigger picture. The NFC East has been a highly competitive division in recent years, with the Eagles reigning supreme and the Dallas Cowboys always lurking as contenders. The Giants, too, have shown flashes of promise. For Washington, making a move to acquire Trey Lance could be a strategic shift that not only bolsters their offense, but also sends a message to their division rivals that they're serious about competing. It's a move that could shake up the landscape, forcing other teams to reconsider their plans or accelerate their own roster upgrades. Looking ahead, the Commanders have a lot to weigh. Do they stick with Daniels and hope he improves, or do they seize this opportunity and go all in on a young quarterback with a high ceiling like Lance? The team's management has to analyze the risk and reward, especially considering Lance's potential to elevate the offense. His ability to extend plays, make throws on the run, and bring a dynamic element to the attack makes him an intriguing option, especially if Daniels' struggles continue or if injury becomes a concern. And let's not forget the fans. Washington fans are craving excitement, a quarterback who can energize the crowd and turn close games into wins. If Lance joins the team, it could ignite a new level of enthusiasm and hope for a deep playoff run. The team would also be sending a message to the NFC East and the rest of the league that they're not content to be spectators this season. They're here to compete, to contend, and to make some noise. So, as we keep an eye on this developing story, it's clear that a potential Trey Lance trade is more than just a roster move. It's a strategic pivot that could define the future of the Washington Commanders in the upcoming seasons. Whether this move materializes or not, the mere possibility has already started to shift the narrative around Washington's quarterback situation and their overall championship ambitions. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential Trey Lance move? Do you believe it's the right step for the team? Would Lance be the upgrade they need to push for a playoff spot or even a Super Bowl? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. Remember, this is a team that's always been about resilience, passion, and the drive to succeed, and with a move like this, they could be taking a giant leap forward. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news, rumors, and all the insights you need to stay ahead in this exciting NFL season. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's go Commanders!